June 27, 2021, from my small bedroom in Auckland, New Zealand, I released a video announcing that I was going to crowdfund and run a human clinical trial of a combination of rapamycin and exercise. Now, I knew this was going to be a difficult task, but I had no idea it was going to be this difficult. Obviously, clinical trials are expensive, but with the strength of the lifespan extension effects of rapamycin in mice, and with my YouTube channel, which was about 40 to 50,000 at the time, I foolishly thought it was going to be easy to crowdfund a cool 600k to get this underway. Now, it has to be crowdfunded because you can't get a patent for rapamycin since it was discovered back in the 1960s, and all of the patents have run out, so there's no possibility for a return on investment for investors. Now, after 2 years of crowdfunding, we'd got to about 80k, which obviously I'm incredibly grateful to this community, so thank you very much, but we'd stalled out and we were nowhere close to what we needed. But I refused to let you down, so I knew that we needed a different approach if we're going to reach our funding target. But this new approach also ran into some problems. So I was already taking some individual supplements at the time, and in 2023, the Cosmos Mind study was published. Now, it found that a daily multivitamin and mineral relative to placebo resulted in statistically significant benefits on global cognition, on memory, and executive function. Now, I couldn't find a multivitamin and mineral that met my requirements, so I wanted it to be properly dosed, so many of the supplements that I could see on the market, they had really high doses of all the different vitamins and minerals, which is not what I wanted. I wanted, microdoses. I wanted something to complement a healthy diet. I also wanted the correct forms of the different multivitamins and minerals. I wanted vitamin K2, I wanted magnesium taurate, I wanted the correct dose of vitamin D, and I didn't want vitamin A or vitamin E, and I wanted to include TMG or trimethylglycine. So again, that's just to try and combine some of the supplements that I was already taking, but again, just make it also a multivitamin and mineral. So I decided to create my own supplement and use the profits to fund the rapamycin and exercise clinical trial. Now that's all well and good, but it's not exactly simple to create your own supplement and then for that company to generate immediate profits, which then can be transferred into the rapamycin clinical study. It's a startup after all, but nonetheless, it needed to happen if we were going to get the study underway and funded. So I cracked on, but trouble was just around the corner. Now, while all of that was happening, a viewer on the channel reached out and offered very generously to fund half of the rapamycin clinical trial, and the funds were then held by the non-profit lifespan.io. Then shortly afterwards, another viewer reached out and again offered to fund the rest of the study. So happy days. With the trial funded, we then got ethics approval for the study, and then we were about to begin enrolling patients. Then disaster struck. So the second viewer who offered to fund the rest of the study, they weren't able to donate the funds, and that was at the time when the stock market was crashing. So what were we going to do? Because the wheels were in motion for the study, and to now pause would be incredibly costly, and I wasn't sure if we'd ever get moving again. But couldn't I just plug the gap with the profits from my supplement business? Well, no, I'd massively underestimated how difficult it would be to start and then scale a supplement business. So all of the costs that I just didn't think about, like accounting and then trying to scale up the inventory as demand was increasing. So multiple times we ran out of stock because I just couldn't keep up with the demand. So any profits from that business had to be reinvested back into the supplement business, again, to try and catch up with demand and make sure that we didn't continue to run out of stock. So if I took money out of the business, it would have just killed the company. Again, though, I refuse to let you down. So I went to the bank and they could see that the business revenue was going in the right direction. And I've also got a family home with some of the mortgage paid off. So after a long discussion with my very understanding wife, together we made the decision to remortgage the house and borrow against the supplement business to plug the rapamycin trial funding gap. So with the house remortgaged, so I think we had to come up with about 150k from memory. We could start recruitment in 2024 of the 40 participants, and then the data collection was completed in January of this year, 2025. And then after the data auditing process was finished, we locked the database and we could finally unblind ourselves to see the results and write the study. And I'm pleased to say on the 31st of July, I'd completed the study write-up, and I'd submitted the final manuscript to a clinical journal for peer review. So they're currently undergoing that process now, and hopefully it won't be too much longer until those results are accepted for publication, and then obviously we can let you know the results. So this journey has lasted 4 and a bit years, and I just wanted to say thank you for all of your support. The next step is a follow-on study, and I'm doing that next study as part of my PhD through the University of Auckland. So yeah, I just refuse to let you down.